The Neo Reality Entertainment brand expands with a relaunch of the Neo Reality Collective Pop Culture News Talk. Your host, Eric Brown, gives his insights and thoughts in the ever-expanding news world of comic books, professional wrestling, gaming, TV, and movies. Be sure to donate to the brand and keep up to date with additional content on YouTube channels such as Neo Reality Entertainment, NRE The Wrestleverse, and NRE Pop Culture Omniversa.
Hello everyone, your host, Eric Brown of Neo Reality Entertainment is back with Neo Reality Collective. So, you're probably wondering where the hell is episode 60? Well, it's not coming anytime soon. I wanted to catch up on a bunch of stuff I missed. I might get something down by February, but right now I want to catch up on some reviews I missed out on, and other plot points I need to catch up on. But there was something that came out this week at Image Comics that when I read it, I was like, okay, this has got something I gotta talk about, because I have no idea anything about this other than anything from Linkara's review atop the fourth wall, where he talked about Mark Millar and his stories in the past. Like, for those who don't know, Mark Millar is considered a comic book writer and has done a ton of stories in his run, such as The Authority after Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch left. Yeah. He also did The Ultimates. Yeah. He's also written Fantastic Four, X-Men, Avengers, Marvel Knights, Spider-Man, and Wolverine. He's also the one that created the Kick-Ass stuff that he did. He also wrote Nemesis by Steve McNiven. We'll get to that. Jupiter's Legacy, Super Crooks, The Secret Service with Dave Gibbons, the guy who helped create Watchmen. And yeah. Mostly, he's also the guy that did Superman Red Son, his most famous work. And he also wrote Troubled, the romantic comedy comic, and I use that term loosely, that makes me think, here's the best way to describe when I look at that comic. I look at that comic and I'm thinking, Mark Millar is your proposal to bring back romance comics is the equivalent of Alan Moore writing let's see, what's the best, the Teletubbies. Let's go with that. Let's do that. Alan Moore writes Teletubbies is about as believable as Mark Millar bringing back romance comics. So yeah, let's go with that. Considering all the high ultra-violent stuff he's done in his stories, and when he's under restraint, there's still some kind of messed up stuff, like even the comics, even he did a story with Superman, and that mostly took the perspective of a kid who had to realize that his one of his, quote, buddies was an animal murdering serial killer. And they seemed to be in their elementaries. Or like it ended on a much better, happier note, and even Superman stopped by, but like still, it's kind of dark, messed up that this kid has developed a serial killer mentality for animals. I'm not going to say something because I could clearly make a joke about that, but let's just go with his last name is with Paul, and he has recently been outed for a bunch of horrible things with animals. But moving on. Now you're probably wondering, what the heck is Nemesis? I did not know anything about this character or the story or anything really. So anything I learned up on is from Wikipedia and citing the source citations to get the gist of everything. But the publicity was launched but the story was in 2010 when it came out, but there was a publicity launching of it in 2009 with a teaser image containing the caption, "What if Batman was the Joker?" Millar revealed that it was only one of a number of possible lines they went with, his favorite being, and this should sum up the entirety of Mark Millar's writing when unrestrained, is, "What if Batman was a total C-word?" Yeah, that was a thing, because the character is a rich a-hole who is more criminal than hero and will do horrible things, and somehow Marvel published this at the first 4 issues when it was a miniseries. Oh god. So yeah, Nemesis is a villain character because that's a good idea, and at the end of that issue, the comic ends with revealing that although Nemesis is dead, so yeah, apparently Nemesis is dead after he gets shot in the head with a headshot, but Morrow is injured when Morrow kills him, but like, yeah. So yeah, Nemesis is dead in this universe, so naturally he comes back in this reboot, because that is what this is, it's a reboot. Now, you're probably wondering, why would I be interested in talking about this? It's not because of the writing or Mark Millar himself, it's because of the art. Because in the original run, it was Steve McNiven in the original Nemesis series. Now, 2023, Mark Millar has somehow, impossibly, got Jorge freaking Jimenez from DC Comics to do this. There is so much to unpack from that statement alone. Yeah, Mark Millar got freaking Jorge Jimenez, the artist for Justice League, Batman, Superman, and a whole bunch of other stuff he's done with his impressive colored art, with his impressive dynamic artwork, and he's been hired by Mark Millar to do this story, to help draw the artwork, and even got the colorist, I can't pronounce his name, I tried, who worked on Batman, to come in and to do this. That has had a collaboration with Jorge Jimenez since, if I had to take a guess, since I want to say since the Superman Action Comics run during Rebirth, but I could be wrong. So yeah, yeah, Nemesis Reloaded is the reboot of this story, and it even comes with an introduction by Mark Millar, saying, "It feels weird to reboot one of your own projects, but kind of nice too. Historically, pop culture icons get a facelift every 15 or so years. As the Tim Burton era, Batman gets replaced by Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight, or Daniel Craig makes way for Henry Cavill, or the mighty Aaron Taylor Johnson. Politics tend to also move in these big 10 to 15 year swings too. As the White House turns red or blue for half a generation, and comics likewise ebb and flow with new takes on old ideas. Nemesis was a book I created with the brilliant Canadian artist Steve McNiven. All my favorite Americans turned out to be Canadian, and Steve is no exception. We brought this book out 13 years ago, right in the middle of the kick-ass mania, and it sold gangbusters. It was only 4 issues long, but I think I've signed as many of these as I've signed many other evergreens, like Old Man Logan. Yeah, he created the Old Man Logan character, which, you know, means that Logan, the finale to a shared universe, the X-Men, in my humble opinion, besides Dark Phoenix, was a thing. So that story only happened because Mark Millar happened. Kick-Ass, Superman, Red Sun, and Civil War. Oh yeah, that's the only other comic I ever got from Mark Millar, is Civil War, the one where Captain America got killed in, the event comic. Yeah. And if you do a Google, Well, you'll see homemade toys, guys have beautifully painted and splattered with fake blood. 20th Century Fox bought the movie rights, first for the legendary Tony Scott, and then for the great George Canaran. I'm pretty sure I butchered that, I am sorry. Once those lapsed, it was snapped up by Warner Bros. And has been written and rewritten over there for years. What's the fascination with this project? How did Steve and I make more money from this concept than we did from even Civil War, Marvel's biggest selling graphic novel of all time? It was literally just 4 issues. There are so many different things I do differently now, and this is the curse of being a published writer. Once your project is out there, there's nothing you can do, right? Well, that's the beauty of the soft reboot. Superman was very different by the mid-50s than his Golden Age roots. Then the new take on the character flipped again in 1971, and John Bryan's revamp in 1986. This was my chance to bring Nemesis into a new age and tweak the origin, so I had more room to play than the original 4 issues. And also integrate him into this MillarWorld universe we put together, leading directly to a huge series we're doing in July. Okay, about that. Yeah, he has a big event comic coming out. Yeah, and I'm not kidding. He got Marvel's Pepe freaking Larez on this. If you're wondering why the X-Men book has lost its superstar artist, I think it's because of Big Game. Like, how do you do that? How do you get these artists? I know you're a big superstar, and if I'm correct, isn't I'm trying to remember his name. Isn't Dan DiDio involved in this project? Which, you know, kind of fits when considering how much of an edgelord he tries to be in his comics. But moving on from that complaint I have, yeah. Big Game is where every one of our characters cross over in a spectacular summer event drawn by Marvel refugee Pepe Larraz. He went from helping Hickman revamp the X-Men to this. I question my sanity. And I wish I could commission him to artwork for me, for fan art purposes and fan fiction ideas. But anyways, that's the narrative dream. It's going to be spectacular, and I couldn't miss the chance to do the most perfect version of this concept, and I have the character interacting with all my other favorites. The whole experience has been incredibly satisfying, and I could have asked a better partner than DC's greatest artist, the brilliant George Jimenez. So enjoy Nemesis Reloaded, and wait until you see where this book, Nightclub, The Magic Order Volume 4, and our new The Ambassadors take you. I promise you it's going to be the best money you ever slipped from me. Cheers for now, Mark Millar. Yep, that's the introduction page. So, yeah, we're going to be right back after these messages and dig right into Mark Millar and George Jimenez's Nemesis Reloaded ad. Oh God, I am absolutely stunned by how much George Jimenez is giving his all in this. We'll be back after these messages. Okay, we're back. Let's dig right into Mark Millar and George freaking Jimenez, Nemesis Reloaded, but for due diligence sake, I got the colors wrong. It's not the colorist from DC Comics who's done a pretty damn good job with his coloring. Instead, it's another colorist whose name I do not know and I cannot pronounce. But that should tell you how good damn well the coloring is, if I definitely thought it was that guy. So let's dig into this. Everything you heard before is a lie. This isn't my story. This is how it all began. So basically you're already confirming that this is not tied to any of the original continuity of the 4-issue series. Got it. Fish Creek, Wisconsin. I told him, Margaret, nothing outside except the wind. But no, I've got to get my boots on and check the whole goddamn house. And we see this old woman named Margaret freaking out and petrified to the point the husband is looking at him and it's like looking at her and it's like, what the hell's wrong with you? Her eyes shift down, revealing Nemesis underneath the bed. He's under the bed, Jake. How does one miss that? Wait, Jake came through the door. How does he not notice this white-colored guy wearing white cloaks and whatnot? It's pretty obvious. I'm kind of impressed he's that dumb. Los Angeles. You know what I love about Tarantino? Guy never stands still. Yeah, he's also trying to piss comic book fans off who like the movies. He reinvents the heist movie with Reservoir Dogs, then his second picture is so good the screenplay becomes a bestseller. Next up is Jackie Brown to complete his crime trilogy, and then he shatters all our preconceptions and reinvents himself completely. I'll show, Carlos. Well, just when the critics have him pigeonholed as a dialogue guy, he subverts their expectations with an ode to Shaw Brothers kung fu movies. Okay. I also have another question. Why are we suddenly talking about Tarantino and Jackie Brown? And then he mentions this. He does a Western, and it's your favorite Western. He does a war movie, and it's better than Kelly's Heroes. Not to mention putting his stake through that Star Wars shit. You're gonna make me want to bring up The Last Jedi every time you bring up narrative subversion. What? You don't remember how infantilized audiences were in the 1980s? All those talking robots and Bill Murray and redemptive arcs? It was nice to have a radical behind the camera again. And the guy knew his Godard from his John frickin' Picard. My only complaint is all the pop culture references. They're just too much. All these guys who have highly developed opinions on classic filmmakers. People don't talk like that in real life. Okay. So anyways, Nemesis breaks through the glass door and breaks in and causes mayhem and chaos. So, your average Tuesday for him. So he breaks through the front window, through the glass ceiling and kidnaps our, rich guy, Carlos. Shit! And escapes. Yeah, that sounds like a beginning. What the f***? After the car stopped, and Carlos is naturally panicking as the woman is being the woman out of nowhere. Oh my god. Where am I? The swimming pool, of course. Don't try to remove your blindfolds. They're locked at the back, and you'll detonate my tiny bombs to fiddle with them. Your only way out of the scenario is to murder everyone around you. These are LA's other gang leaders, so they're going to be quite robust. Now I get to work fast if I were you. It shouldn't take long to find the last man standing. This is bullshit. I'm not going to play so stupid. And is immediately stabbed. Okay, yeah, I think we see where this is going. You guys are the second in command, but you're about to receive a significant promotion. I just want you to realize that this isn't me muscling into your territory here. I have no interest in Los Angeles. I'm just here to cause chaos and rain terror. I'm only here to gather henchmen for 7 days, and you have my word, I'll make it worth your while. Oh. There's lean times ahead with these tough new mayor they elected, but give me a week and I'll bury him with your old bosses. Any objections? No, I don't think we're gonna get any objections from the guy who just organized a bloodbath. Yeah. Good. Let's see how your predecessors are getting on. And the last man standing is Carlos. Did I win? Am I the last man standing? And he gets shot in the head. You're the winner, Carlos. You're the winner. Now, let's get your boys into the uniform I designed. God damn it. I've traveled the world honing my cruelties since I was 10 years old, learning at the feet of murderers, gang masters, and drug lords and despots. Now I'm back to release a holy terror on this so-called City of Angels. A holy terror. A guy named Millar, or Millar, you want to say that as well, is talking about holy terror. I would like to remind you, this is not Frank Miller. It took a hell of a hit during COVID. COVID. Oh, damn. All the techies and actors got out while they could. The cops so demoralized they stopped answering calls. Really? I'm not 100% certain what was going on for the rest of the world, save for what I was hearing. Mostly how world leaders and state leaders and city leaders were basically being ineffectual with the COVID virus, but that's a completely different topic. But that's nothing compared to what I've got in store. 20 years I've been making these plans, and 17 times these funkers are finding out why. Damn. So anyways, I must stress, Jorge Jimenez's last run he was working on was Batman. He's on break to do this story. Yes, I'm being serious. And he is really giving it his all in this. So Nemesis goes ahead, crashes his motorcycle, and crashes into an arena with a page splash of him dynamically making his entrance with two swords clanging into the floor, and everyone freaking out. And he just starts slicing and dicing them, like brutally. Slice, dice, decapitation. F this! Throws a sword and it goes through someone's head. Gas got released when my boots hit the floor. A little something I picked up in an Indian lab. Almost invisible and very, very deadly. I don't want to imagine that he farted. He must have built that. You don't want to know what's happening to their insides. The Fabricate Dilbert collection is $100 million worth. You'd think they had been a little bit more careful. Are you sure it's safe to come inside with all the poison gas? Of course it's safe, Margaret. What do you think your shots were for? Alright, now, the cops will be here in less than a minute, so I want you all to fill your bags with whatever you can find and leave your guns on the tables where I can reach them in the shootout. I don't understand. What are we supposed to do? You think you were here for backup, Jake? You guys were just carrying my extra ammunition. Wow. Wow, that. Oh, God. Okay, I'm half tempted to try and impersonate Lee Carr's Batman impersonation. Because this is kind of how immature Batman can be according to Lee Carr's character arc. And I'm just laughing to myself right now thinking about it. No, get out of the movie on there and fill those bags. The students ain't funding all that fun and games. Los Angeles was down and almost quit out. But the rich guys got together and selected a mayor who could put it all back together again. Joe Constelleo is an ambitious ex-cop and former district attorney with a tough line on crime the public was crying out for. Naturally, if he's such a good politician, he'll be dead by the end of the week because politics do not like good people. He was elected last night with a huge majority and a promise to put 2,000 extra police on the streets. So he wants to establish a police state. Don't worry, Jorge Jimenez already tackled this thing with James Tynion in the Forces run. It was called Fierce State. It failed miserably. There's a lot of cops out there, boss. How many? 15 cars? Maybe even 20? Give it in a minute. As he readies his white-colored rocket launchers and ammunition and guns. At least he's consistent with his color theme. You nervous? I would be if I didn't have a plan, sweetheart. But I'm really gonna fix this place. I hope to be in the city hall for a long, long time. Alright, now, where's Wendy Gomez? I want to see our new chief of police up here. Yes. Wendy Gomez. You want to be here for a long, long time. Translation, you're a dead man walking. And we see Wendy Gomez hung by Nemesis in front of the entire crowd of cheering wars. And the lights go out. Hello, children. Don't worry, there's nothing to be afraid of. If I want you dead, you'd be choking on your guts right now. You don't know me, but I got such a plan for this place, and in 7 days' time, everything will be clear. Only one thing stands in the way of my scheme, and it's all these extra cops on the streets. So I pulled a $100 million heist this evening, the proceeds of which I'm going to share with all the little people. What the hell's going on, Joe? I have no fucking idea. So, we find out that, after an extra minute of waiting, Nemesis decided to, create the biggest massacre battlefield in history in Los Angeles. Are you listening out there? Because this is quite an offer. I'm putting a bounty on every head of this police officer in this city. Quite literally, as I just pulled a gun and shot this guy in the head. Much to the horror of the crowd, and what seems to be a mother watching, who seems to be expecting to also be iPadding this. Yeah, that sounds about right. So what is this big bounty he's offering? Man, it has to be pretty damn good. It has to be pretty lucrative to, justify the mass murdering and the chaos that he's about to bring. Yeah. He announces, I'll pay you 10 grand for every dead cop. That's the end of the comic, to be continued. Yep, over 900,000 people in the city of Los Angeles have just declared that are live streaming this on the internet. He just put out a hit on every cop, and for every cop dead, the person will get 10 grand out of it. Per cop. Dear. So, I could theoretically just say I don't know what to think of this, but I will just give this. Jorge Jimenez, this is damn good artwork. Like, the artwork in this story alone made me want to check this out. Like, I don't care about Mark Millar's edgelord writing and brutality, but yeah, I really like the artwork. Jorge Jimenez is giving it his all. You could tell that for some reason, I don't know why, but that's his opinion, not mine, that he is a huge fan of this guy, and a huge fan of that story by Mark Millar and Steve McNiven from all those years ago, that he did this artwork, and it's damn good. I'll give him credit. Jorge Jimenez is a good artist, and he's damn pretty good at it. He was kind of the right guy for this, and it makes him step out of his comfort zone from the usual violence he has to write and draw to the more edgelord bloody crusader style, with organs, blood, decapitations, and yeah, there's been a lot of cursing in this issue alone, and I must stress this is a 5-issue series. And this is supposed to also lead into the big event comic, Big Game, with Pepe frickin' Larraz, which is why he's not an X-Men at the moment, and has just been doing variant covers for Marvel since Millar hired him. Damn you all. Oh, God. But yeah, Nemesis has unleashed hell upon the city and is now unleashing more hell upon the city more. There is no happy ending from this, most likely, and I'm not going to be surprised if that was the case. Because in the story is about a villain who is basically looking like so far the only quote superpowered villain, or any type of hero or villain character, that I'm pretty sure we can safely assume that everyone's screwed. But don't worry, MillarWorld's a shared universe, so we'll probably see him again in Big Game at the end of all this series of chaos, blood, violence, death, mayhem, murder, and probable SCX. But, yeah, we'll have to see where things go next time. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing this, but like, yeah, the first issue, it's the only reason I'm checking out this series is because of the artwork. Jorge Jimenez is a phenomenal artist, and the colors are also compounding, are beautiful and breathtaking, and the visual style that it's given in this is pretty damn good with the dynamics. So this was your host, Eric Brown of Neo Reality Collective, the owner of Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, check out other contents throughout the social space, Twitter, YouTube. Be sure to check out more from my Neo Reality Collective podcast here on Anchor.fm. We'll see you all again next time. I'll see you all soon. And let's hope this year's content-rich well will be much better than how it ended last year. Peace and take care, and I'll see you all again next time.
Be sure to donate to the brand and keep up to date with additional content on YouTube channels such as Neo Reality Entertainment, NRE The Wrestleverse, and NRE Pop Culture Omniversa.